Hi everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video, and as per always, I hope you guys stay tuned until the end. My name is Esther Vincent, also known as LiaMia on social media. Do follow me on my Instagram and Facebook. Anyways, last week I skipped on a video. Supposedly there should be a video uploaded, but I had some personal work that was going through, so I could not find a time to sit and record. But do check out the video that I posted the week before last week, The Brutal Case of Kenny Ong. It's a long video, but it is a good one. Now today, for this week, I've got an incident that had taken place in my country, Malaysia, a couple of decades back. This is one of those incidents that I wish and hope never takes place or never occurs anywhere, not just in Malaysia or anywhere around the world, because it's a horrible incident. Like, absolutely nobody would want to get tangled up in such a situation. Without blabbering much, let me go into today's story. As per the video's title, this is the story about the man who was swallowed by a python. Yes, you heard that right. The criminal in this incident today, this story today, is indeed a python. So this incident took place back in the 1995 when social media, internet, and all that was non-existent. My country, Malaysia, was once shaken by this terrible incident involving a young man being swallowed by a giant python in the small town of Tenang Station in the district of Segamat under the state of Johor. Now, this district is very, very near to my mom's hometown, and it is also the place that I was born. Well, not this district, but the hometown that my mom lived in is where I was born as well. So Segamat, this district where this incident took place, is very near to my mom's hometown. And I remember when I was very young, this topic was like a hot topic. A lot of people talked about it. I even remember my mom telling me that a man passed away because a python tried to eat him. This incident was considered one of the most tragic, alarming black incident of 1995 in my country. Come to think about it, yes, it is very bizarre. Like, it's not every day we hear a news about a man dying because a python tried to eat him, a python tried to swallow him. So it's very bizarre, but it can happen. It has definitely happened. So this brings me back to Steve Irwin's death. You know, crocodile hunter, you guys remember him? Like, all the dangerous situation that he has been, but finally, who would have thought that he would meet death in such a bizarre way, attacked by poisonous stingray? Man, that's sad. What a great guy he was. Poor guy. Anyways, back to today's story. The victim, his name is Heng Chuan. I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrongly. He was a 29-year-old grown man. On the 4th of September 1995 at around 8 p.m., Heng Chuan was walking towards a barn near his house to switch off a water pool generator which was still running, and it was like, end of the day, so he walked there to switch it off, and that barn was not any further away than 200 meters from his house. No one would have thought, no one would have imagined that that would be the last time that they would see Heng Chuan alive. At about 8:30 p.m. that same night, about 30 minutes after Heng Chuan had left to turn off the generator switch, his older brother, Seng Guan, went to search for his brother who had not returned home after turning off the generator, because it's a very short distance and he should be back in a couple of minutes, but here it is 30 minutes after and his younger brother is not back. Now, the older brother who was searching for Heng Chuan fails to find him at about 8:30 p.m., so he returns back home. He then realizes that the brother had not returned home when it was already reaching 10 p.m. So he goes out again to search for Heng Chuan. And this time, he finds his brother at around 10:30 p.m. being a victim to a large python. It is said that when the older brother found Heng Chuan's head and half of his shoulder was being swallowed by that large reptile. Now, the 23-foot-long python was said to be about 140 kilograms. It is believed that the python might have been resting around the barn area because the area surrounding the barn is full of bushes, very, very thick bushes. It's a little bit foresty because this is the village that we are talking about. So it is said that the python might have been resting over there, and Heng Chuan went into that barn to switch off the generator, and some sort of an attack might have happened. It is believed when Heng Chuan reached the barn, the python might have seen Heng Chuan as a prey, so followed by an attack. It might have bitten him and then proceeded on to twisting Heng Chuan's body and then proceeded on to the swallowing process. There is high possibilities that there was a long struggle or scuffle that might have happened before the victim passed away, because all the bushes and the trees and the plants around the barn area was seen pressed down, and what was like a foresty bushy place is now looking like a clear pressed down green field. As I mentioned below, when the older brother found Heng Chuan, the python was already consuming Heng Chuan from the head towards the shoulder, but it was seen struggling to get the man's shoulder into its jaws, because he is a grown man and we human beings, we've got broad shoulders. So the snake was struggling a lot to get his shoulders through its jaws. After witnessing this horrible incident happening in front of his eyes to his younger brother, Seng Guan, the older brother, could not do anything then and there. He was panicking. He was just beyond words. He was shocked. He just could not get himself to do anything to save his brother. But somehow he gathered up his courages and he ran to his mom, Lim Si Mek, a 51-year-old woman, and he told her what's going on, what's happening. So later on, Seng Guan and their mom ran or they went to the nearest police hut, the Tenang Station police hut, to report this incident and get further help. So the police now received this report about 11 p.m. on the same day. The policemen were definitely not ready. They never knew the severity of the situation at the moment. They had no idea what's awaiting them at the scene. Initially, the policemen thought this is a simple case of a python, attacking or coiling a person. They were a little bit on a disbelieving side. They disbelieved the report that was made by the victim's brother and mother about the victim's head and shoulder is being swallowed by the snake. It is very difficult to believe because Malaysia is a small country. We do not have very, very large forests or jungle to have, such a huge python, so huge that it could swallow a human being. So yeah, the story sounds a little bit, not true. So yeah, the police were skeptical in the beginning. So in the darkness of the night, a group of 5 policemen, together with Seng Guan, the older brother, and a fellow villager, went to the scene. They used torchlights and they were armed with M16 rifles. Boy, were they shocked. Yes, they were shocked to the core with the incident that was taking place in front of them. They just could not grasp what that huge python is doing to that poor man at that particular time. One policeman out of the 5, 30-year-old Lance Corporal Razip, said that he remembered the sound the snake was making while attempting to swallow the victim. He mentioned the sound was so horrible, so terrifying. It sounded like the snake would inhale a large amount of air, and then it gives like a very scary sound in between, and then it exhales the air that it took in. So it was repeating that, inhale, and then it gives like, a swallowing sound, and then it exhale. So the snake was keep on making that particular sound when they reached the location. The snake was also seen shaking its head left to right, attempting its best to swallow the shoulder part of Heng Chuan, because when they reached there, the snake was still struggling to get the shoulder into its jaws. So it was, just doing anything in its might to get the prey into its jaws, into its body. Finally, a policeman fired 4 shots on the snake to kill it in an attempt to save the victim. However, sadly, Heng Chuan had already died in the grasp of the python, because he was, just bitten badly and pressed into the snake's jaw for a long period of time. The victim's body was later taken to the Sagamat hospital for autopsy. Well, come to think about it, why do they need to do an autopsy? Well, we all know that he died because of python, a python trying to swallow him. Well, no disrespect to the victim, to the family of the victim, but it just got me thinking, like, why would they want to do an autopsy? And the carcass of this large python was taken to the Tenang Station police hut. Now, after this incident, a lot of the residents around this area, because this area is this district, this place is full of estates and villages, so a lot of the residents living around this area was very frightened. There's this very old superstition that is believed by a lot of people in my country. I know, I'm not sure about other cultures, but I know Indian people, they do believe this. I don't know how many believe. There are some who don't, like me. I don't believe that, because basically it's a superstition. So the superstition is, am I even saying that right? Why do I feel it's wrong? Anyways, I hope you guys understand. So the superstition is, when a snake is killed, its partner would come out to find for it, and when it finds out that its partner is killed, it would start to take revenge. So this is mainly believed on the cobra snake, not on pythons. But at that point in time, a lot of the residents around that area were scared that this python's partner might come out for revenge, because a lot of the residents in that location, in that area, were rubber tappers. So they wake up early in the morning, even before the sun rises. When the day is still dark, they would go out to tap rubber trees. So rubber tree, those forests are always bushy, they are not clean and stuff. So they were scared that there might be more python attacks. Well, thank God there was no other attacks such as what the villagers or the residents over there believed. Thank God. But a lot of them did live a life for some time with a fear, that there might just be an attack, that another python might come out. They thought, when such a huge python was there can be other pythons as well, snakes as well. So yeah, a lot of people lived in that location, in that area, with a fear for quite some time. Deputy Director of the Department of Wildlife and National Parks, Celeste Coriano Razond. Yes, I have that written down here because it's such a fancy name. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that again. Celeste Coriano Razond commented on this issue, saying that this python's attack on human is such a shocking and tragic incident. He mentioned there are many different factors to why these predators attack. And in this case, he mentioned that it might have been that the python was hungry and it was out hunting when it found the victim, or the python might have been disturbed. The victim might have come across this python and got into a panic state and maybe even fainted. So it would have made things way more easier for the snake to attack him, coil him, and proceeded on to eating him. As we all know, I think we all have seen, Discovery Channel, animal documentary and stuff. And python, they take a very long time to coil, twist, and break their prey before they start swallowing them whole. So in this case, that might have happened to the victim, which resulted in the victim dying at the scene. An incident happened in Kuala Karai, Kelantan, a completely different state, where a victim's body was found with badly broken bones by a python's grip and twists. Now, this snake was never caught because that boy ran away. Yep, it killed the victim. I don't know whether it attempted to swallow the victim or not, but it ran away. And this incident took place way before this initial incident. This happened in 1985. Another incident took place, I would say, a couple of years back. I could not find its correct year, where a Indonesian laborer named Sapar, a 55-year-old man, he was walking back home in his village at about 9:30 p.m. when he saw a python, moving through the bushes around where he was walking. That python was said to be about 5 meters long and weighs about 80 kilograms. I don't know why Sapar tried this, but he tried to pull the snake out by holding onto its head. But instead, the snake caught a hold of him from his leg towards his neck, and it started twisting him, started breaking his bones, and it happened so fast he could not escape that grip. Another passerby saw what was happening because he could hear Sapar crying for help. He went there to help, but it was a little too late. There was nothing that he could do. This passerby actually had a knife and he started stabbing the snake, but the snake's grip was just too hard. So before other villagers come by, Sapar was already dead. Man, thinking about it, this must be one horrible way to die, because you are still so alive, very much alive, and you're trying to get out of this very strong grip, but you can't. And then your bones start getting broken, like they snap and they break, and you must be going through such an agonizing pain before you reach your death. Wow, this must be very bad. When I think about it, it's making me think. But yeah, I just feel very bad for these victims who went through that, and their family and friends who had to go through this incident as well. Oh God, it's very sad. Anyways, according to the information of the wildlife department, the skull and the skin of this python that attacked Heng Chuan back in 1995 is carefully stored in the Biodiversity Institute of Wildlife Department located in Lanchang, Pahang. Now, that, you guys, is the tragic story of Heng Chuan, a poor man who met his demise in the jaws of a deadly Malaysian python. Have you guys taken pictures with python? The smaller ones, I don't know, maybe a meter or two. Well, I have. Yep, I have taken picture with, that white with yellow spots sort of python and the brown one twice in my life. And I still remember this white with yellow spots python. I was very young, so I took the picture first, and then after me, my brother, the caretaker of the snake, took the python from me, and then he placed it on my brother. So he was taking picture. So when he was taking picture, that snake, like in a minute, that fellow started coiling my brother. And I saw that because I was standing there and looking at my brother taking the picture. I still remember the snake going around his neck, and then another part of it was going to his left hand side thigh, and it was circling his thigh, and then I could see it getting tighter, and I could see the expression of my brother changing immediately because it was so scary. So thinking about, a snake, we think python might be slow or what. No, when they do their thing, they are pretty fast. And yes, the python's caretaker, he rushed in right away. He laughed about it, and then he took the snake out of my brother. But yeah, that was a little scary when I saw my brother getting twisted. Not twisted basically, but the snake was twisting his body. But that was scary. That was scary. Snakes are just not my thing. Let's put it that way. Anyways, what do you guys think about this story? If you guys liked it, please do leave me a thumbs up. That would really mean a lot to me. If you guys have any of your own python story or any snake story, do let me know, or do tell me that in the comment section. I would love to hear that. And all of that concludes the end of today's video. I hope you guys stayed tuned until the end, and I will see you guys very soon on a different video. Wherever you are, stay safe, be careful, take care, and bye.